Yo guys, what's going on? My name is Kofi Jones and I'm joined here today with Kobie Broomes. He's a journalist. And Kobie, what's going on, man?
I'm cool. I can't complain. What's up?
I hear that's what So I'm gonna just ask you a couple of questions today.
No problem.
First off, how do you feel being from like the other side of an interview?
It is quite intimidating, to be honest.
What?
I'm not accustomed to not being in control of the interview, so
wow.
I'm interested to see where you're going to take this, because I know that when I do interviews, I normally have a trick up my sleeve, so I'm waiting to see the questions that you have for me today.
You can relax. It's not that serious.
Oh, fantastic.
there's no tricks there or anything of the sort. All right. So in your opinion, what makes a good journalist a good journalist?
Sometimes what people mix up is a journalist and a reporter. A reporter is somebody that goes to a situation and tells you what's happening. A journalist, on the other hand, is somebody who has the ability to, I want to create a story, because we don't create stories, but
not fabricating,
not fabricating, that's the word, but to be able to tell people, make people that weren't there feel as if they were there by using their words, by using the different platforms. So that's why we say a real journalist is about.
So when did you decide that this is the career path you want to go?
I would say I started off doing computer studies at BCC, and I thought that was what I wanted to do in terms of using media and so on, but then I recognized that was more coding and all that different types of thing, and I was like, nah, that ain't it for me. My best friend was doing the mass communication program, and after seeing all that they were doing, I told myself, yeah, this is something that I want to be interested in. So I applied for an internship at Barbados today. After doing the internship, I was just like, all right, this is the field that I want to be in.
So Kobie, how would you improve journalism in Barbados? Like, particularly what areas need to be strengthened?
You have all day, or you want me to give you a condensed version of that? I would say the journalism can be strengthened from all directions. From legislation, we don't have a Freedom of Information Act, which allows us to, really do that. Yeah, it was promised, and up to now, we still have not have the Freedom of Information Act where we can go into a government agency and request information. So when people talk about not seeing a lot of investigative journalism in Barbados, it is very hard to do so because people can lose their jobs for giving us information. Yeah, we live in a communist country. So I would say from that end, in terms of seeing those hard-hitting types of pieces, and then of course, because newspapers are private organizations, sometimes it is a delicate balancing act, because when you run certain stories, your advertisers get a little vindictive, and when they pull their advertising, that puts the newspaper in kind of a little financial problem. So you find that stories that would be very hard hitting are stories that we may generally want to run. You generally don't see a lot of them because you still have to balance living for another day in terms of choosing your battles. Right. So a little bit more independence in that sense. But overall, and then in terms of personnel, news agencies are running at basically skeleton staff. So you don't have areas in which people are able to, really go and dig deep for these kinds of stories that you see from like Vice or those different types of news organizations, because it is just about getting what has happened during the day done and put out to the public.
In all those things you named though, do you think like any progress has been made, let's say in the last 2-3 years or so? Legislation
wise, we've had some promises from both administrations. We've gone as far as a draft bill, and that was since 2008, and we are in.
Oh my God!
You can see where we're going from there. Yeah. So that is as far as we've gotten there. In terms of advertising, I think it is getting a little bit better in terms of people understanding that there's a difference between the editorial section of the paper and the advertising section. But of course, when people feel the way they do their thing. And in terms of in terms of staffing and training, we are moving toward, I would say in Barbados, we're moving toward that more multimedia type of reporting. So it's just not papers, it's just not one static document, but you're seeing now integrations of videos and pictures and those short stories to really tell.
So do you prefer to be writing in the office or out in the field covering stories?
I would say out in the field covering stories. I actually hate to write.
Really?
I hate at this point in time. I prefer to be in front of the camera, probably doing some reporting, editing my stuff and putting it out. But the problem with writing is transcribing. When I have to sit down, let's say we do this interview for 15 minutes, and you gotta sit down now and go back through and type out every single thing. That is the hardest part of doing the report. Whereas if you're just editing, click the stuff and you move from there. But transcribing, that's the hardest part. And then there are apps that help now with the transcribing, but then Beijing's is tall.
Right.
Yeah, so
you still gotta do a lot of work yourself.
Still gotta do a lot yourself.
Yeah.